Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Meutia from Accounting Bachelor Degree year 2017. Today, I will do a presentation about my internship report on Admin and Accountant Division at CV Selat Sunda. Now, let's continue to the first slide. The first, the first one that I will talk about is the internship background. Every country in the world must have wants their people to be living in prosperity, in which they should pay attention in every aspect that will help the country to be a better one. For example, is economy. In order to achieve that goal, the country needs qualified human resource who can help the country to develop, especially on the economic aspect. Based on the data obtained from Central Statistics Agency as of February 2020, the total working age population in Indonesia was recorded at 199.4 million, in which is divided into two categories, the labor force and the non-labor force. The last update is already been a year, so maybe the number of the workforce in Indonesia will be increased more and more every year. This number of workers does not only compete with fellow workers from locals, but also with every workforce from countries that are member of the ASEAN organization because of the ASEAN Economic Community Policy. Jakarta State University is one of many universities who understand that there is a large connection between the world of campus and the world of work, where in fact fresh graduates rather choose to work first instead of continuing their education, or some of them decide to work while do saving for their future education. One of the reasons why students needs to do internship is to help showing them the real version of work life, in which participating on the work field is one of the best way to show them. Students are also required to use all the knowledge they have got while on classes, and then it can be used to measure how far students understand their studies. Next is purpose of internship. The first one is implementing the knowledge that has been taught during classes, and the second one, practicing how to do tasks on a company that is related with our study field. The third one is to train ourselves so that we could solve problems and make decisions on matters related to work. And the last one is to train students so that they could adapt easily when entering world of work. The next one is objective of internship. The first one is to increase students' knowledge and skills in applying knowledge at work. The second one is to provide insight and experience about work life. The third one is to encourage students to be more enthusiastic to become someone who is expert in their field. The fourth one is to create a mental that is ready to compete with others. And the last one is to help students applying the theory they got during classes. Next one is benefit from internship for practicant or student. Students can apply the knowledge from lectures in real terms. And the next one is students can be trained to be more adaptable when they enter the work life. The third one is gaining experience on how to do the work itself, especially on accounting. Next, get to know of the system that been used in the world of work. Get to know about how many theory from lectures can be applied during work. And the last one is creating a self that is disciplined, responsible, and able to solve problems related to work. Next is benefits from internship for uh, accounting study program FAUNG. Help university to create a fresh graduate who are experienced and capable, establishing relationship with the institution so that they could be mutually beneficial in the future, get an assessment over how the curriculum in accounting study program, in which it can help for improvement. Help university to find out how many theory students understand during classes, finds out about how far students can implementing accounting theory they have been taught. And the next one is benefit from internship for the institution or for service Sunda. The first one is establishing relationship with universities so that it can help company if they need students for internship or need information about fresh graduate. Practicum can help the employees workload, And the last one is to improve the existence of the company with information disseminated by universities and practicum. The internship location itself is on CV Salat Sunda and the address is on Jatisarut Street, number 70, Cimahi, West Java. And for the telephone number, fax, and email, you can see on the slide. The next one is internship schedule. Practicant do internship for 40 working days, start from 19 October to 2020 to 17 December 2020, with working days and hours adjusting to work time in general, in which every Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In the implementation of internship, there are several phases from preparation to reporting that must be done by practicant with the following details. Preparation phase. Contact the company for availability, contact university administrator for permission letter, and then send all of the requiring files to company. For the implementation phase, it starts from October 19th to December 17th, start from 9 a.m. to 7 to 5 p.m. Placed in admin and accountant division, and for the work system is the first week work from office and the rest week work from home. And for the reporting phase, practicants start work the report from January 2021 until March 2021. Now let's talk about the company's history. Seven Selat Sunda is a company that was found on February 14, 2021, and their work line is producing and distributing snacks. CV Selat Sunda's owner is Mr. Dodi Marianto, and now he became the company's director. The company is located on Jatisarut Street, number 70, Cimahi, West Java. CV Selat Sunda was established with the owners want to start a business in the food and beverage industry, where the first product being offered was a snack category. Currently, CV Selat Sunda has 7 types of products to offer, and one of the customers of CV Selat Sunda is a convenience store that we often find, namely Superindo. Now, let's talk about the company's vision and mission. The vision itself is to become a food production company that can produce products that are safe and delicious for consumption by all groups without exception. And the mission itself is producing food products that have the best taste at competitive price to satisfy customer expectation of the company. The next one is company's organizational structure. In the upper one, there is director, then there is admin and accountant, finance, and the last one is production division. The objective and function of each part on the organizational structure of Civil Sunda are as follows. For the director, they are in charge of leading the company by implementing the vision, mission, and goals of the company that were created at the time the company was founded. Here are some of the duties of a director: make policies related to company activities, approve transactions of or company activities, and check financial reports. For the admin and accountant, they have the duty to recap or record sales and purchase transactions, which are the company's operational activities, and make financial reports at the end of the year. The following are some of the duties of the admin and accountant. The first one is receive sales orders from customer, estimating the need for fulfillment of sales order, forward the sales order to the production department, and then record transaction to the accurate accounting software. For the finance division, they are responsible for managing all inflows and outflows from the company's cash, which are used to purchase raw materials and other payments. The following are some of tasks of finance. The first one is make a payment based on a purchase order, working on transaction and record transaction to the accurate accounting software. And the last one is production division. The production department is in charge of packaging raw materials into finished goods according to the customer's request. Some of the tasks of the production department are as follows. The first one is working on customer sales order, and the second one is check goods before they are shipped. Company's general activities. The operational activities that company do every day are producing orders according to customer requests, then distributing them to these customers. The following are tasks generally performed by CV Sunda, including first is purchasing raw material. CV Sunda will buy raw materials as soon as they receive an order from customer. Purchasing raw materials is done by contacting the supplier via WhatsApp. The second one is packing products. Products packaged by the production department are only for the products with the snack category, while for the tofu products will be packaged and sent directly by the supplier. First of all, production employees will put the production code and expiration date on the plastic of the product, then put the product into the plastic, then weighing, weighing it, and after making sure that the product is properly sealed, the product will be put in a box. The next one is storing products. After completing of packaging, the product will be stored for a while until the product will be ready to be sent to the customers according to the agreed time. Snack products generally last 6 months after the packaging date. The last one is sell and delivering products. After the time has come, the product will be sold and sent to the customers, and one of it is Super Indo di Cikarang. And later the customer will pay the agreed nominal price. The next one that we'll talk about is about the field of work. Praktikan was placed in the admin and accountant division, where in that division, employees are responsible for managing the company's financial activities such as accounting records, financial reporting. Also, the research and analysis on the program of supply and demands for the goods produced by the company in the market. The internship were done by Praktikan both in office and at home. The scope of tasks has been given to Praktikan is as follows. For the work from Office 1, Praktikan do sort sales invoice and match it with the sales list, and sort purchase invoice and match it with the purchase list. And for the work from home task, the first one is calculating the cost of goods sold of company's product that Praktikan found on the e-commerce, do market research on Resetic website, calculating the cost of goods sold of products found on Resetic, and do market research on trademark website. The next one is implementation of work. The first task that I will talk about is sort sales invoice and match it with the sales list. The sales invoice itself is a document that shows the amount entitled to be billed to the customer, which shows the quantity, price, and amount of invoice information. It's quoted from Mijan 2006. The objectives of doing this work are to help the external auditor to find evidence of complete sales transaction when examining financial statement, to help management know that all sales are true and are supported by strong evidence, one of which is sales invoice, to make it easier for employees of the admin and accountants to find past sales invoice when one day they need to be used. And the step is as shown in the slide. The first one is sort the printout results from sales invoice, which are grouped according to the outlets where the company deposits its product. Then also adjust the order of the date. The second one is make a match between the sales invoice and the company's sales list by comparing the invoice number, the date, and the nominal value set in the sales invoice with those recorded in the sales list. And the third one is sales invoice are rearranged into folders containing sales transaction administration files, where each folder is divided into quarters of the accounting period. The second task that I will talk about is sort purchase invoice and match it with the purchase list. For this task similar with the first task, is similar with the first task, and the difference is only this is purchase and the first one is sales. The definition of a purchase invoice itself is a document used to record all material purchase transactions that occur in the company, quoted from Meutia 2016. The objectives of this work are to assist the external auditor in obtaining complete proof of purchase transaction at the time of examining the financial statement. The second one is to assist management in knowing that all purchase transactions are actually done with the support of complete evidence. One of it is purchase invoice. To make it easier for employees of the admin and accountant to find past purchase invoice when it needed. And the steps is Also similar with the first one, the first step is sorting the printout of purchase invoice group according to the supplier where the company bought raw materials and other supporting materials, which are then arranged according to the order date. The second one is match the purchase invoice with company's purchase list by matching the invoice number, supplier name, date, and or nominal printed there. The third one is purchase invoice are stored in a special folder for purchase transaction files adjust to the month period list in that folder. The month period per folder is 4 months. Start from this task until the last task has been done by practicant at home. So the first task practicant done at home is calculating the cost of goods sold of company's product that practicant found on the e-commerce. After practicant complete at the first week at office, practicant start the second week at home with the first task to do research on the market price of products produced by CV Selat Sunda in which the product was keripik tempe, roti bagelen, and gula aren smooth organic. And the research was done on an e-commerce named Shopee. Marketing research itself means the design, collection, analysis, and systematic reporting of data relating to specific marketing situations facing an organization. Voted by Armstrong and Cottrell 2008. After the research is complete, practicant is also asked to calculate the cost of production of the products that practicant have found. The cost of goods sold is the total production cost of goods that have been completed and transferred into unfinished goods. Quoted from Kinney and Rayburn 2011. The objectives of doing this work are first, companies want to know the range of price on e-commerce from the products they sell. Second, to see the level of demand on e-commerce for the similar goods produced by companies. And third, to help companies predict the likelihood of success they will get because they want to sell their product on e-commerce. The steps are shown in the slide. The first one is doing research on e-commerce of keripik tempe with a weight specification of 250 grams. For the first step, practicant start by doing research on Shopee about the best-selling keripik tempe by selecting the best-selling tab on the search page. Then practicant took the information of keripik tempe with a weight specification like shown in the slide, which were included in the best-selling category. In calculating the cost of raw materials, practicant search in e-commerce sites with the keyword of 1 kilogram keripik tempe. Then practicant takes the information and at the cheapest price and has a good feedback from the buyer. And then practicant move the data to a Microsoft Excel. The next one, to calculate packaging products, practicant do research again to get information about price for plastic sealers, and sticker printing service. After that, practicant also move the data to the Microsoft Excel. The next one is distribution cost. Practicant will also find out the information about the price of wrapping box to be used when shipping between cities. While for the shipping cost, practicant doesn't include that co- on the cost of goods sold calculation because some of e-commerce offer a free shipping programs so that sellers doesn't need to put doesn't need to calculate the shipping cost on their cost of goods sold. Meanwhile, for the information about labor cost and overhead cost, it is obtained by practicant from the company. So that practicant only needs to use the numbers given and do the calculation on the Microsoft Excel. After that, practicant will calculate the cost of production per product and then will calculating the average selling price of keripik tempe with a weight specification of 250 grams. After that, practicant will calculate the cost of production per product, then calculating the average selling price of keripik tempe with a weight specification of 250 grams by comparing 10 best-selling keripik tempe practicant found on an e-commerce and the one practicant has calculated before. Generally, the margin earned in food industry like this is around 5 to 10%. And this is the calculation of the roti bagelan butter and the gula aren semut organic. For the steps is the same like the keripik tempe before. The next one is do market research on Resetic website. Brief description of Resetic. It is a site that will help sellers to see sales trends on e-commerce sites such as Tokopedia, Shopee, Bukalapak, and Jackmail. And it can be adjusted over a period of time such as in 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, and 30 days. The advantage of using Resetic itself are as follows. The first one is help sellers do research more quickly, provide product insight to sellers like products that are currently in demand in market. The seller will save more budget to spend on advertising goods. The seller can sell similar products that are currently in demand in other marketplace. Sellers can collect resellers more easily. And the last one, the seller can find other products that can be sold at the same time. The company has indeed used this several times to check the real level of demand from the products they offer. To be able to use the feature provided by Resetic, you have to subscribe first and then choose the period of time like 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. The objective of being given this task to practican are first one is the company wants to know which product with a snack category is in high demand. Companies want to know whether the products they offer still have a chance to make a profit. And the last one, the company wants to know the opportunities and risks if the company wants to offer products other than those they currently offer. And for the steps, the first one is you should access the resetic.co site first, then open my.resetic.co and do login by entering email address and password. Then Practicum will perform a search on the product tab. After that, Practicum will sort the types of snacks that shown, basing which ones are suitable for the company. The last one, Practicum will move some of information such as product name, store links, and product price into Microsoft Excel like shown in the slide. The next one is calculating the cost of goods sold of products found on the setting. After obtaining approval from the supervisor regarding the best-selling product information that practicant found from Exetic, then practicant is asked to calculate the cost of goods sold from the products, which consists of a variety snacks that are currently favored by many people, such as keripik pisang, bakso aci, kacang kapri, kacang almond, keripik tempe, batagor kering, keripik setan, keripik singkong, makaroni, and gandum goreng. The information obtained by Practicum is limited only to Tokopedia site because apart from the fact that the static site only provides updated information for the types of snack on the Tokopedia site, the company also want to sell products on the Tokopedia e-commerce. Objective of being given this task to the practicant are the first one is the company wants to estimate the cost that must be incurred if they want to add a new product that is currently in high demand in the e-commerce market. The second one is to help the company to make a decision when in the future they decide to offer one of these products. And the third one is helping companies compare the company's sales value with the sales value of products that are currently in high demand on the e-commerce sites. The calculation of the cost of goods sold for products obtained from the static site is almost similar to the calculation of cost of goods sold for company's product. The difference is practicant must do our own analysis on the information of labor costs and overhead costs from the information obtained from the earlier task, which is the calculation of company's products cost of goods sold. The steps is comparing the average expenditure for this cost from the three products owned by the company before being applied to products obtained from the resetic site, assuming that the company intends to sell the product in the future. Furthermore, to determine the number To determine the numbers of goods that need to be produced each month, Praktikan took information from products sold on the recetic side. After that, Praktikan will calculate the cost that comprise the cost of goods sold of this product. In determining the cost of raw materials, it is the same as before, like the one on the calculating of company's products task. The last task that has been given to Praktikan is to market research on trademark website. The last job given by the company to Praktikan was the research on international market. Praktikan are asked to check which countries import the most of one of the company's product, which is gula aren semut organic, which means that the demand for this product is high enough that it can be used as the opportunity to export to that country. The objectives of giving this job to Praktikan are first, helping companies find out which countries import gula aren semut organic. Second one, the company can assess the opportunities and risk if the company will export the gula aren semut organic to this country. And then the company can find out which companies are the importers of gula aren semut organic. The steps are shown in the site. The first one is you, you should access the trademark.org site. Then log in by write an email and password. Then it will redirect back to the start page. Then input product code from gula aren gula aren semut organic, which is 17029T. See the list of companies that are registered as importers of the product, then do analysis on one country first, and the last one, searching for information about the company's financial statement to be able to see the sales value of the company earned during an accounting period. And this is the annual revenue that Praktikan has been searched. The next one that we'll be talking about is some difficulties or obstacles from internship. The first one is hard to understand the information provided. One of the main obstacles during work from home was there were several times miscommunication between practitioner and the supervisor. Then the second one is when there are obstacles, no one can guide directly. When finding these obstacles, practitioner will find it more difficult to ask about problems to the supervisor because the supervisor itself also has another job at their office and can be online all the time. The, and the last one is the information obtained is not fully applicable. The results of the work done are not really accurate. Instead, it only an estimate with a limited scope. Like the market research on the research site that is only limited to Tokopedia e-commerce because the information from the e-commerce is the most suitable for what the company wants. Of course, it will indeed be difficult, especially for the practicant who doesn't have work experience to be able to obtain an accurate information because practicant doesn't have an ability to predict other factors that the company will face when they make decision about the new products that they will offer as well as the decision to sell their products on Tokopedia. And the last one that I will talk about is the solution. The first solution for the first obstacles is ask again about the information or talk via phone. Practically solve these problems by asking again to the supervisor at the time the supervisor gives the assignment. Sometimes the supervisor also call practicant by phone if the information is seems difficult to understand if only through chat. Of course, some of these things can minimize errors in the work given by the supervisor, so later practicant doesn't waste too much time fixing mistakes that have a big effect on the result of practicant's work. The second one is trying to solve the problem by oneself first. Practicant will do their best to solve the problem of the job on their own, although it will take longer to complete the job. If later the obstacle is difficult or practicant feel unsure of their decision, then practicant will ask the supervisor for the solution. From the situation, practicants learn how not to easily depend on other person and try to find their own solution to the problems that practicants are facing in completing works. And the last solution is make the information obtained as a reference or initial description. The work that has been completed by practicum doesn't mean that it can be used. Instead, it can become a reference or an initial description of the level of market demand on the Tokopedia e-commerce site. Therefore, even though it is not a definite job, the result of practicum work can still be used by the company. So the presentation has been done. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.